Okay, so today we're diving deep into something a little different. We're not talking indicators or chart patterns.
Right.
Yeah, we're going all in on the mental side of trading. You know,
That's right. The psychology.
the psychology, the stuff that can really trip you up, even if even if you think you've got the technicals down pat.
Absolutely. Even seasoned traders, can get caught up in emotions and biases.
Exactly. So we found this really interesting approach to trading psychology,
Okay.
where they talk about it in terms of like medical conditions.
Oh, that's fun.
Right. Like as if traders are patients
I like it.
suffering from these ailments, these conditions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we thought we'd dive into that today and see if we can diagnose some of the most common trading psychology issues
That's good.
and maybe even come up with some cures. Sound good?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So the first one that jumped out at us, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners can relate to this one, is something called FOMOitis.
Okay. Yeah, I know that one.
I'm sure, right? I mean, who hasn't felt this? It's that feeling when you see a stock, going through the roof. Everyone's talking about it on Twitter, on StockTwits, on Discord, wherever, and you just get this overwhelming urge to jump in.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't really done your research, even if it's not like part of your strategy or anything.
Right.
But it's like you're afraid of missing out on the rocket ship.
Yeah, it's such a strong emotion, and it really ties into some basic human psychology. We're social creatures.
Right.
We don't like being left out. We want to be part of the group, and especially when it comes to money.
Yeah.
When you see everyone else seemingly making easy money, that fear of missing out kicks into overdrive.
Yeah, totally. It's like when you're not really into a particular band,
Right.
but then all your friends are going to their concert, and,
Right.
and suddenly you're like, wait a minute, maybe I should be there too.
Uh-huh.
It's like that kind of thing,
Yeah.
So how do we cure this FOMOitis?
Well, I think the most important thing is to have a trading plan
Oh yeah.
and stick to it. It's like, imagine you're going on a road trip, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't just start driving without a map or a GPS.
Right.
You'd get lost. Your trading plan is your roadmap. It keeps you focused, it keeps you disciplined, and it helps you avoid making impulsive decisions based on, fear or hype.
So it's about being more deliberate, having that plan, that structure,
Exactly.
not just reacting to the noise around you.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, so that's FOMOitis. What's another common one that we can talk about?
Well, I think on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have something called overanalysis paralysis.
Okay.
And this is where, you've done all the research, you've looked at the charts, you've back tested, you've read every article you can find.
Yeah.
But then when it comes time to actually place the trade, you just freeze.
Oh,
You can't pull the trigger.
yeah. Analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, because you're looking for that, that perfect entry point, that perfect setup, and you're afraid of making a mistake. And the
Yeah.
thing is, in trading, there's always going to be some level of uncertainty.
Right.
And trying to eliminate that completely can actually lead to missed opportunities.
So it's almost like a fear of failure, right? Like I don't want to
Yeah.
make the wrong move.
Yeah, and it's also the information overload.
Right.
Too much info.
You're bombarded with so much data that it becomes paralyzing.
Yeah. Okay. So how do we cure this one? How do we break free from overanalysis paralysis?
Well, one thing that I found helpful is to set clear decision-making criteria
Okay.
before you even look at a chart. So ask yourself, what are my specific entry points?
Right.
What are my exit points?
Yeah.
What's my risk management strategy?
Mm-hmm.
And by defining those boundaries up front, you're taking the emotion out of it. Right. So you're basically making the decision beforehand.
Exactly.
So that when you're in the moment, you don't have to overthink it.
Yeah, you're not second guessing yourself. You have your plan.
Right.
And you stick to it.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Now, there's one more that I really wanted to touch on because I think this is a big one for a lot of traders, especially newer traders who are maybe just starting out. And that's it's called stop loss anxiety disorder.
Ooh, yeah.
Right. So have you ever felt that just that awful feeling
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're in a trade and it's going against you
Mm-hmm.
and you're looking at your stop loss
Yeah.
and you're just so tempted to move it further away.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Right. Just to avoid taking the loss.
Yeah.
but deep down, you probably shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, it's really tough because it's tied to this concept of loss aversion,
Hmm.
which is, studies have shown that the pain of a loss
Yeah.
feels much stronger to us
Right.
than the pleasure of an equal gain.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, we're wired to avoid losses,
Hmm.
which makes sticking to stop losses incredibly difficult.
Yeah, it's like our brain is telling us like, no, 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 don't let go.
Don't let it happen.
Don't let it happen,
Right.
even though rationally we know
Right. You know you're
that
safe.
that might be the right thing to do.
Exactly.
So how do we deal with that? How do we overcome that stop loss anxiety?
Well, I think it's all about reframing how you think about stop losses.
Okay.
Instead of seeing it as admitting defeat, right?
Mm.
Think of it as a form of protection.
Okay.
It's a safety net.
Mhm.
It's there to protect you from catastrophic losses.
Right. So it's like insurance almost, right?
Exactly.
You don't want to have to use it, but you're glad you have it if you need it.
Exactly. And just as important is having a risk management plan in place
Okay.
before you enter the trade. So knowing your maximum potential loss
Right.
up front
Mm-hmm.
helps you detach from the emotion of the moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we've talked about FOMOitis, overanalysis paralysis, and stop loss anxiety disorder. These are like three really common uh, trading psychology issues that can really affect your performance
Oh, absolutely.
in the market.
And recognizing them, I think, is the first step
Right.
to overcoming them.
Yeah, absolutely. Awareness is key, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's important to remember that you're not alone in this.
Right.
Like everyone feels these things. It's human nature.
Very human. These are human responses
Right.
to the complexities of the market.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'd like to leave you with this question. Which of these conditions do you think you struggle with the most?
Mm.
And what are some steps that you can take to address that, to maybe overcome that, and become a more confident and clear-headed trader?
Yeah, and remember, you don't have to be a patient forever.
Right.
Right? With the right mindset
Right.
and the right strategies, you can really master this mental game.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into trading psychology, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.